What's up, Devils? J-dawg and L-Kat driving back from goddamn Milwaukee Metal Fest. So we figure we do kind of a review of the fest, talk about it, what went down, how it went down, our thoughts, just like that, because it sounded like by the time you see this video, I'll probably post it after all my interviews. You'll see all my interviews. And after talking to Josta, which, did that interview too, sounds like there's a very good chance Hells will be there kind of regularly. So kind of like a little bit of promotion for the fest too, because this is the first year back, to let you know, yay, nay, worth going to, not worth going to. So yeah, kind of just talk about the whole goddamn experience, because I know people are going to ask anyways, and instead of me answering in the comments or whatever, just making a separate video, we'll just do it here, because we've got this long ass fucking drive. We've got a couple hours left. So let's let L-Kat tell first, like, what'd you think of the whole goddamn trip? I guess we could start off, tell them about our Airbnb fucking story. Tell them how that went down.
I mean, it was a nice place. It was like an old journalist building. I mean, it was nice, but I'm still new at Airbnb, so I need to do research about where it's at, because it was in the ghetto, which was a little scary.
It was like 4 minutes from the venue, so
right.
Just so you guys know, where it's located, it's pretty hood, and it's not the best location, but it's not the worst either. I've seen a hell of a lot worse, like places in Detroit and shit I've seen where it's like, holy fuck, this is a war zone.
Yeah, it was like sketchy at night, but other than that, it was fine. I just know better for next time to stay farther away from the venue, but I wanted to be close because we had to work for 3 days.
Yeah, it was just like 4 minute drive.
Yeah.
But it just sucks because you're staying literally downtown. And they fucking, so everybody, you gotta pay to park.
Mm-hmm.
And check this shit out. So we paid, which you had to pay online with your phone, which was totally dumb, so you didn't get a ticket as like a stub or anything. Very next morning, the first day, they gave me a ticket that they want 125 bones. As far as I'm concerned, they could go suck a dick. I paid your goddamn ass. What the fuck are you talking about? And you know damn well, if you call and try to fight or whatever, like, oh, well, you gotta prove it and show receipts. Well, dude, I'm not digging all this shit up. Now I gotta do your job because you guys fucked up. So, yeah, definitely kind of pissed about that. Because, just the fact of the Airbnb, you're usually just staying in a house and parking in your garage.
It's my fault. It was my bad. I'll do better next time.
So for next year, we'll know if that's my recommendation. If you guys go to Milwaukee, I would stay about 20 minutes out. It's worth the extra 20-minute drive than being like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm 2 minutes away. Yeah, you're 2 minutes away already in the fucking hood. Right. We had to stop at a gas station, get some ice and stuff for a cooler, and I'm like, fuck, I need a coffee. Dude, that was the most fucking hood rat coffee I ever drank in my life. I thought I was drinking straight fucking tar. It felt like it was ripping my esophagus out with every goddamn swig. I took about 10 swigs and I was like, can't do it. Fucking chucked it in the trash. I've never had a coffee that terrible in my life. I thought Folgers was bad. Goddamn, Folgers sends that shit home on a fucking stretcher. So that's kind of like the whole setup. The venue itself,
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It's really, really nice. It's almost like
huge.
A castle.
Yeah, it's huge. It's like 3 floors. There's, vending on each floor. Each floor has, a couple of bars, bathrooms. You're not waiting in lines for shit. I really liked it. I wish we had something like this closer. It was 3 stages. It was great.
Yeah,
no complaints.
So venue was good. No complaints there. And I would say, as far as like how everything was run, it was probably the most professional event that I've personally attended. Yeah. Not saying it's the most professional event in the fucking existence, but as what I personally attended, it was very, very professional. Yeah. So
it was ran well. I mean, they took care of the vendors, gave us stuff for food.
Yeah.
It was really good. It was a great experience vending for him. I will be happy to do it.
So I know you guys are wondering too, like crowd-wise, then how was it? Like, so I would say canoes to heads ratio. I would say 50% canoes, 50% heads, but half the heads, you never know if they're true heads, right? They kind of in disguise too, where they're wearing a goddamn fucking death demo shirt, and you're looking at it, I'm like, come on, man, do you even fucking have the demo? Because there's a lot of that shit floating around, so kind of in disguise, so you never know. But it wasn't like complete fucking flat brim Pantera t-shirt wearing, although there was that there for sure, don't get me wrong. So it was a mixed bag, but it wasn't completely deplorable like some of you guys may think. It wasn't as deplorable as I thought it was going to be crowd-wise, I'll say that. So there's that. And so to give you an idea too, when talking to Josta, I can't remember exactly what all he said off camera and on camera, so if I'm repeating what you already heard, well, sorry about that, I guess tough shit, but I'm just going to repeat in case he hasn't, is kind of what he's trying to do with the fest, too, is, which I guess, come to think of it, I mean, Maryland kind of did it, but not to the degree that he is, or at least trying to. He's trying to turn it into like what basically the first U.S. fest, and the only U.S. fest that's done it. Again, Maryland kind of close, like what they're doing overseas at Wehrmacht and Hellfest and shit like that, where it's all the metal subgenres, the canoe shit, the Metallicas. I mean, he didn't say Metallica, but basically because I don't think a venue like that would be able to hold Metallica, but all that stuff from the stuff that we all don't like, to all the way to black metal, definitely. He's willing to have Satanic War Master.
Right.
I'll tell you, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to have one. He badly wants Nunslaughter because he was telling me he's been a fan of Nunslaughter since the 90s.
But they were in Finland.
No, that's not the reason. Don turned it down. I've already saw it. Yeah, Don did turn it down. So Nunslaughter, I'll talk to Don and I'll tell Jamie. I'll put it in context because it was actually the booker that set it up, and then Josta was telling me, that he kind of wish he would have handled that one on his own. So. And so he took he asked me a lot of recommendations, and I'll send him an email too, talking about the fest and giving him more ideas, band recommendations. I'll just, here's what I recommend, here's what I would get that would be really cool, that would draw, that a lot of people, that I would like to see, and that I know other people would like to see. I'll give him a list, and I'm sure he'll get at least a few of them. You're never going to be able to get all of them because, some bands might flake, etc. For example, like we talked about with them, I think that was on camera, was Empatego, them doing a reunite show, because we talked about it for Hells. However, a little bit after that, I talked to Aaron from Mulder. He knows those guys, like, dude, they're not going to do it. He's like, there's no way. Whatever, can ask. Because that would be, obviously, as you guys know, that would be fucking awesome. And he's willing to do, for shit like that, too. So, like I said, if you guys think, like, Hellfest and stuff like that's cool, just think of it as the Americanized version of that. And, the kind of the way I look at it is if he gets enough cool shit out there, I'm willing to go, because who the fuck wants to sit there and watch 100 bands anyways? I sure as fuck don't. So when the canoe shit's on, just go do your shopping, go do your socializing, go do your fucking getting your drinks, fucking smokes, whatever the fuck you do. You know what I mean? You need a break time anyways. That's the way I see it. Because if it was just all 100 bands you want to see, you're like, fuck. Well, what do you do? Just be fucking on meth and just band after band, no fucking break? Who the fuck can do that? So the way I look at it, man, if for all you guys, if you're contemplating on going or whatever, when you see next year's list, if you see 20 or more good bands, I'd say it's worth going. That's my review. You see 20 plus bands you want to see, even 15. 15 is a good number, like average 5 a day, 3-day fest. If you see 15 bands or more that you like, that you want to see, then I think it's worth your time, and it'll be an enjoyable experience. That's kind of like my review of the whole, what I think of Milwaukee, and I think he seems like a very solid guy, and that it's going to go places, So, what do you think, honey? So, what are your highlights? What do you think? Meeting people, everything, interviews. What'd you like? What'd you dislike? Any weirdos? Fucking weirdo guy hit on you at the fucking gas station.
Well, that's not like a metal guy.
I almost had to go in there and take his fronts out. Yeah. Granted, this fucking meth head probably had no fronts, right?
No, it was obviously my favorite part was Macabre. I mean, Justin got the interview, so that was really cool to sit and talk to Corporate Death for, a half an hour. And
yeah, he liked our tattoos too, so he wanted a picture with us.
Yeah,
tattoos,
so we got pictures. Yeah. I mean, so obviously, like, that's the highlight of that, but like just meeting a bunch of you guys, doubles, like, that's great. I love when you come up and talk to us. I mean, it makes, it makes my day. It makes me happy that, you guys watch the channel and, that you love Justin. I don't know. I just think it's great. So meeting everybody is definitely fun for me. And I like vending. It's actually, like, one of my favorite things to do. Like, I like working and just talking to all kinds of people and giving them recommendations, I mean, we definitely, got the, do you have Slipknot, Rob Zombie,
yeah, if you be
Motley Crue, which, I mean, I love Motley Crue. No judgment on it.
Well, most people like the first two records. I'm
just saying,
most people do.
So, those people, you give them a house comp and you send them on their way, here's something you might like, check it out. But other than that, yeah,
you could definitely tell for shoppers, because we did significantly less money than we did at, like, Maryland, because of the crowd. But the crowd was huge. I think he said the attendance, I think 6,800 was the highest.
72.
72 is something. Yeah, that's what he did. So I'm pretty sure that beats Maryland already. But even less attendance, there's more of like the Hell's Headbangers crowd, guys know what's up, that are willing to shop.
Yeah.
Because there was guys that look in our bin, guys and girls, and you could just tell completely close. So they'd have no idea. Like if you mentioned Disaster, they would have absolutely no clue what the fuck that is. There was definitely some, and then there was some total in the loopers too.
Yeah.
So, but you definitely had that to where, they would be completely close. Like none slaughtered, none what? They wouldn't even know. So there was definitely those people there. So, but it's cool because there's Jamie Josta, he's really hearing me out and wants to, like, I don't know, I guess respects my opinion, which I guess is really cool because in the all in all, I'm a fucking ant compared to that guy. I'm a fucking nobody. And the fact that I guess he values my opinion, and that possibly, there's a lot of cool bands that maybe I could get to see, like Destroyer 666. Right. I told him and to get and stuff like that, and he's all for, and it's like an opportunity for me. I'm like, fuck, this is my chance to get to see some really cool shit potentially, because if anybody could kind of make it happen, he can, because I could tell he's a very good businessman with a good head on his shoulders, and he has the capital to do it. So he has all three things that need to align. Usually people just have one or the other and are missing the others, and then that's when shit don't happen, or it's done very, very fucking half-assed. So yeah, I have high hopes for the future of it. I really, really do. And my personal highlights, I mean, probably my favorite thing was probably interviewing Ross Dolan. He was so shout out to Brian Woody for making that goddamn happen. Yeah, thanks, my boy Woody, text him because I knew he used to do all the merchandise and the road for Immolation, the whole tours. Pretty much, I think he started from Unholy Cult was the first. I think that was because I remember he was on the. I think his name's even mentioned in the Unholy Cult album, the booklets. Like the Unholy Cult is, and I think he's even listed with the band members. But I know it was around that time he definitely did it, and maybe a couple albums after. So I knew he knew those guys very, very well on a very personal basis. So I, hit up Woody and asked him, and he set it up with Ross. And it was cool because I was like, yeah, well, I'm tied down to the booth, and I was like, I have no idea where I was like, number one, I've never been to this venue, and god damn, that place is a fucking palace. Because when I went to go do that interview with Jamie Josta, when I did his interview, he took me in his room. I'm like, holy fuck, it is huge. So it's like, so I don't know where the fuck, I've never been here. Place is a palace. So I have no idea where you are, where the bands are. So I was like, you're gonna have to come up to my booth. And so Woody set it up and says, yeah, he will. And I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. Fucking Saturday, he's waiting for me. He got there because I'd like to knock it out early, and we're shooting to get there around 1 o'clock. He got there at 12:40, and Danny Nelson was there. He's like, Ross is here, looking for you. Where are you at? I'm like, holy shit. So little things like, and he was so fucking cool. Granted, I met Ross several times in the early 2000s, and it's funny because Eric was there too. The only one of us that were missing was Chase, and we were telling the stories about when we met in Cleveland, and the first time I met him was at the Failures for Gods tour in '99. And he actually remembered. He's like, no, I do remember that. There's always the three of you guys. And so like, yeah, he's like, we got pictures together and stuff. And I was like, yeah, 100%. I was like, I got my pictures with you, Bob. And you signed or something. He's like, no, he's like, I do remember that. And so I knew he was cool, but he was overly friendly. But what was also impressive about it is, how I like bust balls and talking about the death metal legends. And I was like, most of these guys don't listen to death metal anymore. And actually it was Woody. He's like, I can vouch for it. Because I think I did mention Ross. I was like, does someone like Ross Dolan listen to death metal anymore? I was like, I don't know, probably not. And but he actually does, because Woody even said, he's like, no, dude, I know Ross definitely does. And talking to him, number one, I could definitely tell, and I can't remember if I was on or off camera. I mean, he was throwing out names of newer underground stuff where I was like, oh shit, I'm surprised you know what that is, of bands that he likes. Like he mentioned Titan Blood, Witch Vomit, Tetragrammaticide, and a couple others that he's like, yeah, that was stuff of newer bands. He's like, yeah, I thought were really, really good. So I was like, oh, okay, so you are in the fucking loop with still current bands. It's like, well, I try to be. He's like, it's overwhelming. He's like, there's so many. I was like, well, that's where I'm at, dude. I was like, it comes in and I don't even know it all. It's like, there's so many goddamn bands as possible. He's like, no, but there's definitely stuff that comes out every year that I think is really good still. So I was kind of surprised to hear that. And he knows all the demos and shit. And I think that he did talk about on the actual interview. So it was cool to see that a legend like him was still very passionate. And he's not about death metal. And he's not just sitting there listening to fucking Rush and ZZ Top. It's like, come on, dude, that shit's just so goddamn lame. Because that's where most of the guys are at. So it was kind of cool. Just like Becerra, same thing. Liked Impiety and shit. I'm like, holy fuck, wasn't expecting that. So that was cool. So I think that was kind of like, my personal favorite thing for the whole weekend. That, and then hanging out with Danny. So that was tons of fun. Yeah. Doing the interview, but then hanging out with him for the whole time busting his balls. I was like, hey, Casey, I only saw him for like 5 minutes on Saturday. So where the fuck you been, man? And then he had to go kind of run off and get his settle up with the merch sales. And I didn't see him for the rest of the night. And then I'm assuming he left Sunday because I didn't see him at all Sunday. But then Sunday just pretty much hanging out with Aaron from Mulder the whole time.
Mulder, it was a great set.
Mulder was my favorite band. Yeah. Well, Mulder was the only thing I watched Sunday, and they were always awesome. Really thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah. I was contemplating watching Broken Hope. It's kind of like, it's not the same singer. And ever since the comeback stuff, and I own a couple things, it's decent. But I mean, I was like, if I get around to it, I get around to it. If I don't, I don't. I mean, if I was in a time machine and went back to when Swamped and Gore came out, yeah, I'd watch them. But now it's kind of like, it's one of those things. If I'm there, I'm there. If I'm not, I'm not. So Sunday, just watched Mulder. I got to say, though, my favorite thing that I watched was, we didn't watch the whole set, but was actually Anthrax.
Yeah.
And they sounded really good, and they played pretty much just all oldies. I mean, they played, like, Keep It in the Family, but even that's old. But, I mean, it's like, I definitely don't love it, but I don't hate it either. But, they opened up with Among the Living, played Caught in a Mosh, played Metal Thrashing Mad. I mean, it was oldies. It wasn't fucking Canoe fucking 2010 shit that it's like, what is this? Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is this? I don't even know what this crap is. And his voice sounded good, so I wasn't like, who's this geezer on vocals that doesn't even sound anything like it.
It sounded great.
The crowd was awesome. I think it's the most crowd surfing I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Yeah, same.
So surprisingly, I was like, they were my favorite thing to see. Yeah. And granted, because I've never seen Anthrax, because it's like, why would I go? Like, if they're on tour, they're just going to play 10 songs off their new shitty album I don't know, and maybe 3 songs I even recognize, assuming it's even 3 that I goddamn like.
Usually openers we wouldn't listen to.
So, but this was great. Even it's funny because even Aaron from Mulder said the same thing. He's like, my favorite band that night was for sure the whole weekend was Anthrax.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I agree. I was like, I could just go on and said it. And yeah, obviously, Lamb of God, Biohazard, and fucking Fear Factory. I mean, why the fuck would I watch that? So can't vouch for that. I had no interest in seeing that. No interest in being in that room. I'm sure that's where all the flat brims and Pantera fucking shirts that I saw at the thing, I'm sure they're all flocked in there. It was probably just all flat fucking brims and a bunch of Pantera logos running around. That'd be my guess, but can't say for sure because I wasn't there, goddammit. But yeah, other than that, what else? Is there anything else to say about the whole weekend as a whole?
Well, it was just great. Again, meeting a bunch of people. Shout out to Kurt, definitely.
Oh yeah, did that mini video? Yeah. So got a total of 6 videos, but 7 probably counting the Kirk video. What I'll probably do it as a double dog day because it's a short one. It's 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'll probably post just a normal video, and then that day probably post his at like 8 a.m. or something. And I mean, I don't call it fucking J-dawg hanging with a regular devil, fucking double dog day, something like that. And because he's just the guy that watches all the time, and he came up to me at Merciful Fate and
bought you a present this time.
Yeah, so that was on camera. But I met him at what was it, Detroit? Is that where we saw Fate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time I met him there. Came up to us, we talked a little bit, bought me a beer too, so that was always cool. That's always welcome. And then saw him again at here because I think he is from Wisconsin, or is he Iowa or Wisconsin? He says he's from. Okay. Yeah. So that makes total sense to why he would have been there. But yeah, so obviously, so counting his video, I got 7 fucking videos recorded. Yeah. So goddamn, it's like about time a productive weekend. Oh, so disappointments too, but expected disappointments was John Gallagher, Dying Fetus. I guess he was, I don't know, too busy rock starting up, getting fucking photo sessions with Revolver magazine. I don't who the fuck knows. He was too busy. It's funny. One of the, forget his name. One of the regular Devils watches everything. Got to hang out with him a couple days. He did the meet and greet for Dying Fetus, and I was like, before he went, we were talking, I'm like, hey, tell Gallagher to come over there. The thing is, I'm literally like, there was a wall. There was a wall separating us, but it was literally
like 10 feet.
Yeah, max 20 feet. Yeah. So he was close. And so when he met him, he's like, dude, I told him 3 times to come up to you. He's like, I emphasize, like, this guy's channel's awesome. He loves your fucking band. He really wants to do it, John. Yeah. He's like, and then, because I talked a little bit, I told him again. He's like, dude, his name's Justin. He's at Hell's Headbanger Stand. You can't miss it. He's like, it's right fucking there. He's like, just go up to him. He badly wants to interview. He's like, dude, his channel is fucking awesome. Yeah. Come on, dude, what the fuck were you busy doing after your meet and greet? You weren't doing jack fucking shit. There's no goddamn reason you couldn't have come up. And kind of fucking slightly disrespectful because, goddamn it, I've been a Dying Fetus fan for 25 fucking years, and the first LP I ever bought, told you guys on the fucking channel, was Grotesque Impalement LP. That's the very first vinyl record I bought. I bought it at the show. It was brand new when it came out, and I had all the guys sign it. I have it to this day. It's signed by Kevin Talley, John Gallagher, Jason, and Sparky. That's who the lineup was. That's before Destroy the Opposition wasn't even out yet. And I own all their albums, even their later albums that I can't say I know as well. War of Attrition, Wrong One to Fuck With, but I own them all. We sell his band, we distribute it for fucking years. So it's just a little fucking, I don't know. Come on, dude. You couldn't give me 20 minutes. And it's just free exposure. It's not like you can only gain from it.
Right.
You can, now, to his defense, not to bust on him too hard, it's not like he knows all this information, but one of his meet and greet guys did kind of lay it hard, like, hey, dude, this isn't some regular ham and egger that's gonna fucking be a complete weirdo and slob all over your fucking knob and ask you stupid shit, because you get some of those weirdos. It's not like, it's like, I think he made it crystal clear it wasn't one of those, like, hey, dude, it's not a waste of your time, it'll be cool, don't worry. But that's right. So that was a disappointment.
Some people are afraid of what you're going to ask.
That's what I think it is too.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's like,
but what he should do,
really
but a guy of his caliber, because he's big enough,
right.
the way he should do it is come up, be like, hey, dude, so ask around, like, okay, I'm willing to do it. Here's what you're not allowed to ask. You preface the questions. Because guys in bodybuilding, I know they do that. Especially if they don't want to talk about drugs or anything like that. They just tell them ahead of time, because the guy interviews upset. Like, they tell you a list. You cannot ask this.
Right.
Just do that. Just if that's your concern, just say it. And I'm not going to ask you. I'm like, okay, if there's something you don't want to talk about, I won't talk about it.
Right.
And actually, there was. I'm not going to say who it was. I did interview one person that it's an interview you already seen, and he did say we can talk about anything but this. He said well, there's a certain person we can't talk about, and anything else, he's like, fair game. I was like, all right, yeah. And he's like, I won't ask. And so that's all you got to fucking do in that scenario. So that part was the most disappointing, but an expected disappointing, because if I got him, I would have been shocked. So, yeah, but other than that,
everything else turned out pretty good.
Yeah, everything else turned out pretty good. Got all the rest that I was hoping to, so that went all up planned. And got a few extras, because I got basically, as far as interview-wise, ones I was hoping to, that I had planned, and plus.
Yeah.
You know, the one with Dan from Ton and stuff. Like, that wasn't planned. That was, all right, why not do it, man? So I got extra, so it was fucking great. So, yeah, all in all, productive weekend, enjoyable weekend.
Very tired.
And based on what we heard, it sounds like next year's going to be even fucking better.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and then if you start to see some of the bands I mentioned, well, put it this way, if you see Destroyer 666 and shit like that, I'm definitely going. Oh, just so you know, too, he didn't say for sure what weekend he's doing it, but he's not a dummy. He's not doing it the same weekend, because Maryland Death Fest is that weekend.
Right.
So they're not going to be competing for that. Because I already told him, I was like, dude, that's going to be, that's going to fuck things up. I mean, even for myself, there's going to be times I'm going to go to one or the other. And he's like, no, I'm changing. He just hasn't decided. He's like, if I move it too far into June or the summer, he's like, the problem is the heat. He doesn't want the rooms getting too hot, because it's an old building. He's like, and if I move it too far before, the snow. If it snows, and in Milwaukee fucking snow, who the fuck wants to drive in that shit? He's like, so I'm in that middle ground. So my guess, based on talking to him, he hasn't decided, it's going to be early to mid-May or early to late June is my guess that it's going to be. But it's not going to be the same weekend in Maryland, so keep that in mind too. But if you see stuff like Destroyer 666, Deicide, put it this way, if you see those two, I'm going. So in case you're wondering, well, is Dog going to be there next year? Well, there's your answer. If you see those two on the list, I'm definitely going.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to add or say you left?
Nope, I'm good. I'm tired. It's been a long weekend.
All right, well, then we'll sign it off there. So that's where we're at. Later, goddammit.
Bye, guys.